Friends, this is Rachel, and this is my first vid, and of course, it's highly imperfect. You can see that it's buffering. I look crazy. This because my shoulders are tight. We just went through a heat wave, and I was too much on my phone, and I developed like a knot right here. Right here, and it hurts. And I have this back buddy thing. I'll show that to you later. But anyway, I've been watching these Shane Hummus vids. Shout out to Shane. And it was about like how to create your own YouTube channel and all that kind of thing. And so I'm trying it. I know it'll get better. And I know that when you're trying new things, it's never perfect. It's embarrassing at first. But I figured, you know what? I'm just going to try it. And the inspiration for today is a job search because I myself am a big YouTube viewer, and whenever I'm going through something, I like to search vids and see advice and who else is going through the same thing. And I couldn't find good vids on a couple of things that intersect with where I am at in life. So I figured maybe I'll just sort of put my perspective out there and maybe it helps someone, anyone, I don't know. So number one, I'm Gen X, I'm in my 50s. Number two, I'm an executive assistant, office support, and I'm also a very creative person. And people who grew up in my generation, there was a time when you could work to live, and that was my lane. And so I'm also a writer. I'm also a creative writer. That filing cabinet there is all writing. My office is kind of undergoing a transition because we just had a big electrical project done here. I'm a renter, and they rewired everything. And so you could see what's going on right now. It's nuts. But I have tons and tons of writing. So then I guess like within that, I'm also someone who is of my age, a woman of a certain age, and we go through certain changes, right? And so that kind of affects a lot of different things. So I'm not going to be too niche here, but I just want to express where I'm coming from and sort of some of the things that I'm learning. Also, I'm sober. That's the other thing. So, first of all, today is just going to be about a job search. I had a job for 10 years, and then I work in life sciences and healthcare. I worked in healthcare for a long time. I started out when I was in high school. I worked in a hospital for a couple of years. And while I'm very creative, I'm also pretty practical, just kind of how I grew up. Not a lot of affluence or anything like that. So it was always just kind of, I always joke, I say it's coupons and casseroles. I think I'm stimming. I'm like moving around. So anyway, so that said, when I got into that job search, I started doing this where I do interview cards for myself. And I had gotten some coaching. I had left that job and they gave me a nice package when I left. And one of them was professional coaching. I'm going to take this off. And so I had cut out a lot of the different things and I pasted it onto here. So I'm going to share a couple of these and then I'm going to lead up into where I am today and why this is relevant to kind of anyone who's in the job market right now, anyone who's job searching. I can also share my executive assistant kind of organizational tricks, things like that. So anyway, so I started out, so this really helps me. I got cardstock and I cut this into nice big pieces because people of a certain age don't like little teeny tiny writing. You can see I'm wearing glasses. So anyway, so this one is, how are you today? And on the back, we have what I have written. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. All right, it's being fuzzy. Things I have written. Do I have the background fuzzy on? Let's check everyone. No, I'm like showing all my underwear basically. So anyway, what this says is first impression, set the tone for my candidacy, prep ahead of time, get comfortable with my appearance, which is important when you're meeting in person. I have to be comfortable. I can't be fidgety. And then on Zoom, I use a background. Actually, let me see if I can show you what background I use. I'll put it on here. I had uploaded an image that I like, and let's see, virtual backgrounds. And I try to dress like with kind of a nice blouse. I don't wear a jacket. Here's the background image I use. This one. I'll continue using this. So this is the background I use. There are other ones. I have this office one. You can find them online. This is on Zoom right now that I'm recording on. This one's very plain, but see how it kind of cuts off my whole thing, although I would never wear my hair like this on camera. This one, I feel like blue and green are me, and it's also a calming effect, and it calms me, and I feel like when people are talking to me, there's not a lot of distraction. So anyway, so I have my cards. There's a ton of them. There's a whole packet of them. Maybe I should take this back off because we'll say that. So there's a whole bunch of them. And they're things like, how are you doing today? Would you like something to drink? What are you supposed to say when they ask you, would you like something to drink? Oh, guess what? You say, have some water, please. Thank you. The little thing that I glued on here says, to avoid accidental spills, it is safer to decline invitations to drink. However, sometimes a glass of water is helpful if you get a dry throat due to nervousness. I usually say, yes, please. I would like a water if it's no trouble. Polite. I'm not geeky. I'm not over eager. As an executive assistant who has helped job candidates, I never get upset if someone asks me for something easy, like a water or a seltzer. But if they ask for coffee and they start giving me a whole giant order, I do secretly get a little annoyed about that. Don't ask for a giant. I'm not a freaking barista. I used to be a barista. I'm not a barista anymore. Don't ask me for a freaking latte. Are you kidding me? So anyway, did you have any difficulty getting here? So this is the Greasy bit. It says, this question is usually asked to relax you for the interview and to give you an opportunity to answer an easy question. Keep your answer short. Don't just say yes or no. Be positive and make every effort not to let anything negative enter into any part of the interaction with the interviewer. So anyway, so there's a million of these. I could go through these, but they have really helped me where I've gone, because when you're unemployed, like being at home, it like can get to you. And so I go to the library. I like to go to the library, and I usually have kind of a stamina of about 2 hours, and I'll set up my whole table with a ton of books. I'll just go to the reference section for job searches, and I'll get books, and sometimes I'll just straight up write things from these books. So I recently just did that. I have a notebook called Job. It's got a nice hardcover. This is from Staples. I hate that this is blurring, and I wrote that on there, about Job. So I was just at the library recently, and let's see, I keep my notes of job interviews in here, but I also write some of my to-do notes. And I was taking notes. Oh, there's this really great book. Oh gosh, it's called. I'll go and get that, but later. It was called Work Smart, and the guy's last name is M. Hansen. And so I took down some notes on here. I'm really not trying to hide anything, and I don't know when my camera is acting like this. It really helps, and you take these notes, and then you end up kind of pulling them into your cards. And over the years, I've added to the cards because this project started 10 years ago during my first job search in like 10 years. And since then, I have been through several, unfortunately. I would like to say I've been through none, but I work in startups. They are very up and down, and job security hasn't been guaranteed. So I have the laugh because it's so EA. These are color coded. The blue and the green ones are job related, and the orange ones and the pink ones are related to networking, because I was not a natural networker. It was really hard for me. And so I had to train myself. And that's what these cards have been really good for, is training myself to be more natural about my interview questions. Because, how long have you been looking for a job? Job hopping, tenure. What's up with your tenure? Why are you currently unemployed? What's the real story? Things like that. So I have just kind of added to these over time based on the interview questions I've gotten, online advice, YouTube advice, book advice, going to the library advice, sitting and just working on my job search, kind of being academic about it. So that has helped me tremendously. And fast forward to kind of the latest job search, I have employed ChatGPT to help me, And I have taken some of the best things that I've heard, like I uploaded my whole CV into it. I will upload job descriptions. It will help me write thank you letters, thank you emails, and follow up, which always used to get me stuck. And I am a writer, and so I kind of tweak what ChatGPT gives to me. I paste it into Microsoft Word, and I tweak it and edit it to my own kind of vibe. Noise in my lips, quite nice. And I tweaked it, and then I a lot of times liked it so much. What I did was I started to print it out, and I cut and paste it, and I put it onto one of my cards. And this particular one was my patterns at work, and ChatGPT had observationally said that I bring order to complexity. And so this tells you some of the work I've done about examples of how I brought order to complexity. And if I can get into kind of a narrative where I repeat certain things based on my storytelling experience, and also I worked in communications at one point at the Harvard School of Public Health, and we were trained by the CDC on good communication practices. And one of the things they talked about was the single overriding message. I think it was called SOCO, single overriding communication something. And a couple of the tricks they said was ways to pause and you say, I'm not sure about that, but I'll get you that information was a good one. And another one was to kind of have a narrative. You'll hear things about what's your brand, what's your message. And so for me, what I'm trying to kind of emphasize is I bring order to complexity. And I'm not just pulling it out of thin air. This is really what I do. And sometimes you don't know what you do. I've been working for 500 years. How do I know what I do? So I put it out to ChatGPT and they're like, well, this is what you do. So in here it says, for my examples, at one point I created a contract management system. I helped manage contracts, so way more than just executive assistant stuff to show sort of a level of capacity. Then I have done executive calendars while simultaneously solving operational problems. I've planned conferences and events. I've managed office moves. I've become the person everyone relies on when something complicated needs to be coordinated, which is true. And I'm not simply supporting executives. And this is what I underline in the orange. You're building systems that allow organizations to function. So for all my EAs out there, especially if you had to work in startups or you've had to be innovative, everyone's always like, what do EAs do? Well, I'm an EA, you're a secretary, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? I build systems that allow organizations to function. I take the low value work, right? Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. That's it, right? So these are some of my latest ones. You laugh. This one has a stapled little thing on it. This one says the through line in my career has been bapadoo bapadoo, which is what ChatGPT told me. So this chunk of cards over here are some of my latest cards. And what I do is I put them, so for the Zoom interviews, I put them on my laptop, on my desk. I'm doing it right now. I have them, here, let me show you. I'll pull it down. Here's my desk. I'll put it here on the keyboard. I'll put it here. We have this guy. Since the olden times of transcribing things when you're typing, it just like rests on it. Wish you could see it. Maybe it's better you can't see it because it's a little TMI. I'll put that, I'll set that right there. Here's my desk. I've got a wrist rest. This one I just found the other day. Throw that over there. Got my hand lotion. What's this? Oh, this is a bag. We don't need that. Got my water. Back here, madness. We don't need all that. So anyway, so I put these things on the desk and, and usually I'm making eye contact. I'm talking, I'm doing the interview. But then every now and then I get a little flustered or sort of forget myself. And I see out of the corner of my eye one of my little note cards. And on this one, I had written it out and I underlined it, the part that I needed to remember the most, and it was my strengths are in keeping moving parts aligned because as an executive assistant, that's what you have to do. And I also keep executives focused and clear on goals and on priorities. So having this stuff around me when I'm doing the Zoom interview really helps me to kind of remember who I am because I don't know if everyone's like this, but everything about me for some reason just will go out the window and I'll be like, ooh, What have I done? I forgot everything I ever did my whole life. I also have my CV here, and I put it in one of these plastic thingies. That is so executive assistant. These things are great, and they come. This has a little tabby tab, and this thing comes in like a variety of colors. You can get them at Staples. As an EA, I like to use these for when you, especially when you have old school paper people. I like to put their travel itinerary and then uh, their all their travel stuff, and then behind that, everything that goes with it, the conference information, their schedule, the agenda, the hotel info, the car, if they have a car service, all that info. I put that in these things, and then I use them for my own organization. So that is the main part that I would like to talk about in terms of my latest job search, but I also like to recommend a couple of books that I'm into right now, other than that one that's in the kitchen at the moment that was about just career stuff. But this is particular to the job search. So I love this one. This one I took out of the library. Any HBR books, Harvard Business School books, are the best. Can you see this? It's, I mean, it's just your guide to the job search. Anything by Harvard Business Review Press, I love them. Big fan. This one's a good book. This is called Five Steps to Rapid Employment by Jay Block. I just picked this one up, and I had a bookmarked in it, and I had highlighted something. I can't. This is so good. It says, "It's been said that the greatest fear in life is not death. The greatest fear is what dies inside of us while we live." And that is kind of the emotional reality of what it's like to be unemployed. It's very difficult. It could be wrapped up in your identity. It's your time, it's your routine, it's your friends. Obviously, it's your bread and butter, it's the roof over your head. It really can be a lot. And you don't know the uncertainty, you don't know what's going to happen. And when you look back, you go, oh, why was I so worried? No. But while you are in it, it is very tough. And so, for anyone who's going through that, I empathize with you. This one's another good one. The job search checklist. You can see there's a ton of posties in here and highlights. Like, mark the ship. Oh, sorry, I'm broadcasting. I marked the heck up out of that book. It's an old school one. I'm sure there's a better version of it. This is from 2015 when I had gotten into my job search back then. And it's so funny. I have a thank you card stuck in here for some reason. Is there anything written on it? No. So anyway, there's this one has good. This is like this old school. Look at this. Ace the telephone interview. I mean, you get screened. I get screened as an admin. I get screened by people get screened, but like by recruiters or talent acquisition. But it's true actually. There still are telephone screenings, but I usually pass those and I get to the Zoom interview and then I get to the in-person interview. And I have to say, like, maybe I've been spoiled, but I used to land jobs pretty quickly. And this one's been a little bit harder because things have been more up and down in the market. In my own professional life, some of the companies I worked for were more up and down. They were early stage, financing got tough, biotech got tough. So that is it for today in terms of job search stuff. But I guess I wasn't seeing my needs on YouTube. So I just wanted to convey that for anyone else. And this is my very first vid. I would like to do more, get a little fancy with it. I saw that Canva has some like editing things. Uh, so in closing, I am preparing for an interview tomorrow. I am going to touch up my roots. Ageism is a thing. I'm going to do my nails. I'm not going to show up busted like this. And I'm probably going to wear these earrings. These are pretty simple. And keep my makeup simple. I'll put on some eye makeup. I'll put on lipstick for this vid. But normally I'm not cleaning the house, which is what I was doing. And putting on lipstick, but I did for y'all. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. And that's it. And I hope, I don't know. What do they say? Like and subscribe. Bye, friends. Bye.